So if you've been feeling like you're broke, you're behind, or something is wrong, I want to be the first to tell you that that's not the case. You're actually just playing a game that was never designed for you to win. So today we're going to talk about what that is and what to do about it. So you're not actually broke, especially if you have a job. Even if you don't, and if you just feel misguided or confused, you're simply playing the wrong game. You've likely been influenced by social media, by the legacy media, by the traditional narrative, and that line or path to success is actually broken, and there's something shifting under the scenes that's going on, and it's costing you years of school, of studying, of attempting to follow a path that is no longer applicable. So the expectation is for you to work hard, work 40 plus hours a week, put in your time, and succeed. That traditionally came in the form of following the system, going through school, going through college, getting your degree, graduating, and then immediately commuting to a 9-to-5 job, zapping you of all of your energy, time, and really hope for the future. You just can't do anything if you get stuck in that rat race. And so you're led to believe that stability is success, right? In the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s even, you could one person could have a full-time job. They could pay for a house, 2 cars. They could get married and have multiple children, and that could all be done with one job. That is no longer the case. No longer the case in any way, shape, or form. So the reality is you're likely working but stuck. Maybe you commute every day. Maybe you work from home. Maybe you have a side gig. Maybe you're even in between jobs, but regardless, your source of income barely moves. Every year, at best, you get a 3% inflation match raise, right? Which actually puts you further negative and behind because inflation is outpacing wages. And in all reality, you actually lose ground because things become more expensive. Okay, so life becomes this like expensive quicksand, and you're moving but you're getting stuck in place is what is really going on, and you're slowly sinking. So if you realize that much, you're already ahead of the curve. Something needs to change. Okay, so the game has changed. This traditional path no longer works. You no longer can get ahead. You no longer can have the success that you dream of following this traditional path, okay? And the new game is not really talked about. It is not publicized. It is not followed through in the mainstream media or anywhere really. And you need to realize what's going on. So rules are different now than they used to be, and it's only accelerating and changing quicker with AI, with technology, with social media, with the digital age. And so most people don't even notice. They don't even care. They're just doing what they're told, following the 9-to-5 path, and not really thinking about it. So this is the wrong game. You need to wake up here, guys. Trading time for money works to a degree, but it will never get you ahead and get you wealthy. There's a statistic out there that the vast majority of wealthy people, millionaires and above, their assets are generated from not a 9-to-5, but something completely different where they have ownership, okay? So your income is capped when you work a salary. You don't get the exponential leverage that you would if you were to own a business and were to run your own show or be independent, okay? So effort is disconnected from reward. I have felt this when I've had office jobs to where I work harder than anyone really, doing what seems to be most of the work, but then I'm given a pat on the back, a 3% raise, and someone else is promoted who was louder. okay? And they did no work. So you need to learn how to play this game. So the trap is inflation keeps rising, your costs keep going up, food, rent, car, insurance, all of this, and your wages barely go up. And this has been a thing for the past 40 years now, and the compounding effort has finally made people feel that stress, and people are trying to figure out what to do. So you slowly fall behind. Well, what's the solution? So the hard truth is you can't win in this system, not with effort alone, especially not anymore like you could in the past, where you could work a full-time job, then maybe pick up a part-time job and get ahead. Now that's not even enough. So what actually wins? This is the million-dollar question that everyone is trying to figure out, everyone who at least has awareness that something needs to change. And so the key here is leverage. Using leverage beats just effort. And so leverage is using skills that compound, that you can blast out there and get more reach and awareness and be able to sell things one to many, and something that grows and compounds over time, rather just trading $1, 1 hour of your time for X amount of dollars, right? So ownership beats wages. Now the question becomes, how do you own something? How do you own an asset, a business, something that gives compound returns over time? So the new game is attention. Attention online, in person, any way where you can get in front of as many people and grow as quickly as possible and sustainably is leverage, right? Me speaking to a camera and YouTube pushing this video out, potentially with viral abilities, where this video could go viral and 1 million people could see this, and I only record this video once, right? You could do that on social media. You can do that online on any platform, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Talk about something. Talk about the skills, your interests, something that has potential to earn you money. And over time, this compounds and builds you leverage. And over time, you build up this skill and you get better and better. And it's like a snowball. A snowball starts rolling down a hill, right? You pack it, you throw it down the hill. And at first, it's tiny. No one can even see it from the bottom of the hill, right? But if the runway is big enough and you've done enough planning, then the snowball, as long as it continues to have momentum and you keep trying, it gets bigger and bigger. It gets harder to stop, and it becomes unignorable, and it is able to, if you're smart, make you money, and in a compounding fashion, to where once you build something with leverage and using the digital age, then it's hard to stop. And if you are the owner here, then you earn all of the income, and it's not like you're working harder to give yourself a tiny raise, but the company makes the majority of the returns and the money. So the simple, actionable path here is, number one, learn a high value skill. It could be coding on a computer. It could be sales. It could be marketing. It could be advertising. It could be teaching people something. It could be sharing a valuable experience or something you've messed up on in the past, right? Whatever that is, you then talk about that skill. You put media out and you use digital leverage in step 2 to earn money. So you start posting on YouTube, you start an email list, you start a social media account, and you consistently put out videos, pictures, written words, and text that speaks to that target audience, maybe what you were a few years ago, or something you've learned and mastered and that can now teach and share, or even just comedy or entertainment now, with everyone being pushed online and having a screen in front of their face on their phone 24/7. This opportunity is only growing bigger with more and more people wanting to escape a system and reality that just seems to get harsher and more cruel every day. In a way, you can make the world better and you can earn money from that, all from the comfort of your home, really. And you can turn this source of income into ownership to where you run the show, you decide when you work, you decide how much you work, no boss tells you what to do, and you simply continue down this path with consistency and watch your numbers, your audience, and your income grow. So a reality check. No one is coming to save you. You need to learn that. There is no kind of knight in shining armor. You're likely, very, very likely not going to win the lottery. No one is going to extend a helping hand and hand out something to you. You need to realize this, get serious, and formulate a plan. There's no perfect moment that's going to come. You can't wait for, things to get better magically, and then, you're waiting for a step way down the road, which may never come. And you need to start your path towards freedom as soon as possible so that you can build a long-lasting online empire. Okay. And time sadly keeps moving. So whether you decide to start something, start building a skill, learning it, mastering it, and then building and using leverage and posting about that, time will keep moving. The time doesn't care whether you start or not. And 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3, 5 years from now, the only thing that matters is whether you put in the effort and output or not. It's really that simple. So you can start small. This doesn't have to be some huge mountain that you have to climb, at least not initially. You don't need to quit your job. You don't need to make any radical changes. You just need to start something, okay? If you're too scared to post a video with your face on it, you don't need to post your face. It can be faceless. It could be even not even using your voice, right? If you're an artist, if you have something interesting visually to capture, then you can do that instead. But you need to start and you need to try. You might not get it right on the first time, the 5th time, the 10th, even the 20th time. But over time, you start something, you learn, you get feedback and process that information, and you feel good about creating and putting something out there. And you need to make the shift from a consumer to a producer. So instead of just consuming videos and social media all day long, you need to actually start producing. And it feels amazing once you do start to see results. So momentum changes everything, and you'll see just how quickly your life and perspective turns around when you start seeing views, you start seeing engagement, you start seeing something small that has the potential to grow into something amazing. And so the final shift is you're not actually behind. You're not lost. You're not late. It's not too late. It's never too late. You're just in the wrong game. You're just trying to trade time for money, 9 to 5, commute, the old fashioned way of not really using any leverage. You're just selling, unfortunately, a piece of your soul into wage slavery. And there's never going to be a changing moment in that situation. Nothing will really radically change, and you won't just be noticed and picked up without an actual strategic plan that you can use leverage over. That's what I'm trying to help you guys understand. So if you change the game, you can change your life. It doesn't need to be radical and all at once. It can be small on the side. You could try selling things online quickly. You could try affiliate marketing. You could try content video marketing. You could try advertising. You could try selling your software coding skills. It really doesn't matter what it is. You could try day trading, right? But as long as you're trying something on the side that has leverage, you will be able to see your life go from normal, maybe behind the curve, to a success in a matter of months or years. Click the video appearing on your screen, and I will see you in that next video.